right after the program that we're talking about, and I thought it was clear, but we're talking about groups. I do have to know the name of the group because who knows? I mean, they have to give me the name of the group. But right after, when I reviewed it, I put out a tweet and I put out on Facebook that I totally disavow. Now, everybody knew I did that, but the press refused to look at that. It was right after. And I disavowed then. I disavowed today on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. I disavowed again. I mean, how many times are you supposed to disavow? But I disavow, and hopefully it's the final time I have to do it. But if you look at Facebook and if you look at Twitter, right after the show, I put out a statement because I want everybody to be sure.
Thank you and welcome to Disavowed. I am your always gracious and humble host, Bebo. And with me today, he's becoming a regular, Sebastian.
What's going on? What's going on? Third time. Yeah, very honored to be on again.
So what's been going on in your life, man? Anything interesting?
Yeah, man, I was going insane with this lockdown, and me and my girlfriend went on a trip. We drove like 4,000 miles, started out with Yellowstone and drove through the Grand Teton National Park into Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Then went to see Mount Rushmore, went to Sturgis, where I had the honor of meeting up with one of my lifelong friends, basically, my boy Dustin. We were in the 10th Mountain Division together as kids. I haven't seen him in 20 years, but I mean, Army brotherhood is an Army brotherhood. So it was my utmost honor to see him after that many years, man. The guy's become a fucking warrior, man. It's like some of these cats I served with, man, that ended up going to war, after I got out. They're just, man, all my heart, my respect to all of them, man. They're just real life badasses, and gosh, man, it's incredible hearing their stories and being able to reconnect. It was awesome. So we drove around and checked out a lot of national parks. South Dakota was fucking amazing, bro. Fully open, no curfews, like normal, basically normal, man. And we went over to this town called Brentwood, stayed there for a few nights and just walked around from casino to casino and just enjoyed the freedom, checked out Zion National Park and just, did something. Unfortunately, I could not make it home this year to Poland because of all the travel restrictions and such. And I simply didn't want to get stuck being in quarantine for 2 weeks. So I had to do something, man. It's just the stuff is ridiculous here in California, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's much worse in the more populated areas. You go out to South Dakota and Montana and stuff, and their populace is just so low that it's really irrelevant. They have such little cases. I mean, I'm of the opinion now we should lift it completely anyway and let people live their lives.
Well, my girl brought up a good point because South Dakota never really closed, except for the first initial 2 weeks. And it's like, if this really was like a serious disease, people would be quarantining themselves. People would be staying home themselves. You'd see dead people on the streets. Because, I mean, the shit is not closed. No masks, no nothing. That means like 80% of South Dakota, residents would be ill if this really was what it was supposed to be. Just common sense.
Well, they really insult our intelligence. If it was that dangerous, people would self-quarantine themselves. I mean, but it shows still the power of the media and the government to the degree. It's so ironic in a way because, like, when it was first coming out, like, it seems like the general public is always the opposite of my opinion, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, when it was first coming out and it was coming over here, I was like, hey, we need to be cautious about this. This could be something serious. And the general public at that time, like, I'm talking like February, I was worrying about it, right?
Yeah.
And people were calling me crazy, conspiracy theorist, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And I'm the guy that wants to go to the store without the mask, right?
Right.
And no one, we have a comment here in California, people prefer to stay home rather than wear a mask. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I completely agree with that. Going out to a restaurant, it's so stupid here. You go out to the restaurant and you have to wear the mask till you get to your table, right?
Mhm.
Then you can sit down and take off the mask, right?
Bro, like and it's like these stupid rules. It's like the bars, right? The bars close at midnight instead of 2 a.m. Yeah, you're saving so many more lives by closing 2 hours early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they want you to go out of business or something, dude. It's so stupid, bro. And now with the CDC admitting it's not airborne, what is the point of a mask, man?
Well, it's the same thing as with they close Walmart now too. Our Walmarts aren't open 24 hours no more here.
Really?
Yeah, no, they close at like 8 or 9. I think they just went to 10 now.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
hypothetically, wouldn't you prefer? Like I used to like go do my grocery shopping late at night. The stores were empty, and I just prefer not having a lot of people around, and you would think that would be safer than forcing everyone into a smaller time frame, and then the store's more filled. You get what I'm saying? Because you cut the out, right?
Yeah.
And here, my son plays football, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Here in our state, they canceled football originally, right? High school football, right? 2 weeks later, they flip. And they decide that they're now going to play football.
Right.
Like something changed so drastically in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Just doesn't none of it makes sense, man. None of it makes sense. It's just stupid at this point.
But now they got these plastic like pieces on their mask they have to wear while they're playing. These just like plastic film on their face mask. Right? Yeah, but you're gonna be on top of each other in a pile, like it's gonna make any difference.
Yeah, sweating on one another, dropping sweat and stuff. Like, man.
And the rest of the coaches are on the sidelines. They're all wearing the mask and they're like far away. So, but that's how it is. But that shows you the power and the influence of media and government.
Yeah. Did you hear about Poland? Poland found a cure for it. They're in like clinical trials right now. It's like some plasma treatment that's like curing everybody. And like you don't hear it on the news here. It's all over the news. I sent you a link earlier today, and it's just no vaccines in Poland, man. Good, very good.
Yeah, I did read that actually. Yeah, I mean, dude, to be honest with you, I don't even think we need a cure. Like, I won't take the vaccine or anything like that. Like, to be honest, like it's only affecting older senior citizens for the most part,
Right, but okay, but whatever. They found a treatment that works, right? So, why would the world not want to use that treatment? Instead, they want to inject you with a vaccine that has a 50% chance of not working, and this is from Fauci's mouth. There's a 50% chance that it's not going to work, and you're going to have to take it like 3-4 times a year. Like, the fuck? You're going to shoot me with something that doesn't even work when there's treatments, when I don't even need it? Like, come on, get lost.
Yeah, and also they arrested. Did you see that where they arrested a lady at a high school football game because she wasn't wearing her mask?
I did not. I literally, got back a few days ago, and I've been just kind of really busy catching up on stuff. So I've kind of been out of tune for the last like 3 days. So fill me in. So the lady got arrested for not wearing a mask.
Yeah, well, they just come up to her and they ask her to put her mask on. She didn't want to put a mask on, and they literally just arrested her. She resisted, which I'm one of these guys. I don't think you should resist. Like, I think you put everyone's lives around you at risk when you resist the police officer, right? Like, and I'm consistent. Whether I believe I'm with that way with the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm with that way with the right wing movement. Let's be honest, most of the people that don't want to wear a mask right now tend to be conservative.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But I still think she should not resist. I think your best bet is to take it to a judge, and hopefully, most judges tend to be highly intelligent people, and they know the law. They know the law better than the police, right?
Yeah.
And police, when you defy the police, their only course of action is power, right? Like once they come up to you and they're like, "Ma'am, you need to put a mask on or you have to leave," right? They're now locked in. They're going to arrest you if you refuse to leave the premises or put the mask on, right?
Yeah.
And I just think you're putting everyone at risk around you. What if he pulls a gun, someone gets shot? You could not even be the one that gets shot because your husband or someone could jump in because you don't like the police officer doing it, you know?
Yeah, you don't want to. I mean, I'm with you 100% on that, but it doesn't make sense how they arrest people for not wearing a mask, but they're letting looters and a bunch of thugs burn down cities. You know?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Like it's nothing makes sense right now, man. It's completely unconstitutional. I agree. It's completely unconstitutional to arrest. Just because there's danger out in the world, right? That don't mean we lose our constitutional rights, right?
Right.
I mean, how far can they go? Could they eventually just say you have to have a hazmat suit to leave your house? Where does it end in the constitutional? Where's your rights and where's the safety of others? Where's that line?
Right. Right.
And my thing is, you wear a mask. If the mask works, you got a mask on, you should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my thing on it. But I feel it's just weird seeing someone get arrested for not wearing a mask. And I get called the bootlicker. They call me a bootlicker for stuff like that because I basically. I think you should take it to the judge. I just think that's your best option.
Yeah, you're not gonna, the cops are just trying to enforce the laws that they're being told to enforce. You're not gonna, they're just resisting arrest is what gets a lot of kids in trouble in the first place. It's a lesson you learn when you're young. Well, most people do.
Well, Minnesota is where a lot of this, rioting and the looting started, right? And we had the protests in Minnesota. Now here's a story: suspicious fire at Minnesota home with Trump 2020 sign destroys garage. Suspicious fire destroyed a detached garage and 3 cars in a Minnesota home that had a large Trump 2020 presidential campaign sign outside, the police said. Police and firefighters in Brooklyn Center, a suburb of Minnesota, Minneapolis, responded to the pre-dawn Wednesday blaze at Morgan Avenue residence where homeowners, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, and this guy then comes outside and he sees 3 people running away from his garage area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the police, after they but rather than chase him, he had children. So he went back into the house to get his children out of his house because he didn't know if his house was on fire, right? and he left. But then the fire department shows up and spray painted on his garage door is Biden 2020 BLM.
Yeah, and the cops are probably being told to stand down instead of pushing an investigation on who that was. It's just it's getting ridiculous, bro. It's they're allowing these people to do all these things and nothing is being done. And I just don't see this going in the right direction, man, especially in a lot of the blue states. Even if Trump wins, I don't see like a civil unrest not happening, because I think a lot of the right is so woke at this point where Trump winning is not enough. They want the people who are responsible for a lot of these scams and a lot of this corruption and all the pedophilia going around. They want them held accountable, and so do I. Trump winning and being president for another 4 years does dick to me. I want those people held accountable. And one thing that I know about communism, is that letting them back up and shut the fuck up for a few years ain't gonna work, because they're just gonna come back at you stronger and stronger and stronger. You have to just eliminate them, bro, one way or another. That's it. You know, I don't know if I ever showed this on your show, but this is an actual Medal of Honor from the Polish president, and that's the medal that was sent to me as the next of kin of my father's. These are the actual orders. You know, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stick it right next to the screen, but you get it. So like with me, you know, when we're talking about communism, socialism and such, it doesn't go right, man. Something's got to be done. These people have to be held accountable. They cannot just, you know, back up and be silent for a few years. They're going to come at you again and stronger and stronger and stronger. So I'm like, all for like, bring back McCarthyism and just get them all out, you know?
Yeah, they talk about McCarthy like he was some type of bad guy. When they mention McCarthy to me, I'm like, hero.
It's an ideology with, you know, and these mentally ill people that are, you know, putting on all these protests and such. They don't realize that, let's say communism takes over, right? And then 5 years from now, they want to burn stuff down and protest against communism. At that point, the cops are not going to be that nice. They're just going to be told to freaking wipe the streets with your face. You know what I mean? Because the communists will not have that. That's just how it works.
I honestly believe that the cops, in a way, are the ones protecting them, in my opinion.
Yeah, it makes no sense. I mean, I never thought that there could be a situation where a group of thugs is burning down the Starbucks in Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles, and the cops are just standing there looking at them set the building on fire. Like, never thought that would like be the reality, you know. And it's I get that they're following orders from a lot of these leftist mayors. At the same time, you know, do you know how quick things would change if the police forces turned their back on the mayors and in the cities and just said, no, we're protecting, you know, the citizens that we work for, and we're protecting our neighborhoods, and, you know, we're going to clean it up no matter what you say.
Do you know how quick things would change if the police just didn't show up? Imagine right-wingers with no law. Let's say there was no law. They got rid of police. There's no one to enforce law. So now right-wingers can go out and do whatever they want without repercussions.
Right. And who's got the guns? Who's got the, you know what I mean? Who's got, I mean, 90, I'm sure there's a few, you know, veterans and such in some of those groups, but the number is very, very small. So, I mean, who's got the militias? Who's got the boys that have been hunting since they were, you know, 10 years old? You know what I mean? Like, it'd be a
that's what's so ironic. The people that are asking for them to be defunded, and these people make no sense whatsoever anyway. You get in a debate with them, they're like, defund the police. And I'm like, dude, you want no police? Like, do you know what's going to happen if there's no police? No, I don't want no police. They'll say, they'll come back with that later. I'm like, well, if you do realize if you defund them, that means less police or no police, right? Like, do you people not? It's like they don't even comprehend what they're saying. They're like, no. Just because I'm saying defund the police don't mean I want no police, you know. And what's so ironic is they want to defund the police. The police are literally the ones protecting you, and then at the same time, they're destroying Starbucks and all these corporations. These are the same corporations that are placating to them, right?
Yeah.
You know, look at Starbucks. They let their employees wear the Black Lives Matter. Dude, let's be honest. All the corporate conglomerates, the big corporations, are behind BLM. Most of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get it. I'm not even that much of a fan of the cops. I mean, I get it, but I'm against defunding them. Like, you know, I think cops should go through more training. You know, I don't like how they antagonize you for no reason sometimes, but defunding them is completely stupid. And in my experience, like the sheriffs in my area, they're cool. I have no problems with them. They're nice guys. I guess it varies from a different police department to a different police department, but defunding them, it's like, and you don't want to pussify the police force either. You don't want a pussy ass police force like in Europe, for instance. Do you know what happens when there's a street fight in Poland? Nothing happens. Somebody ends up in the hospital because there's no cops and because they were pussified a little bit. They have special units that like go out and do stuff, but that's what you're looking at having. Like, nobody getting into a fight in Poland is like the worst thing you can do because the fight will go on. It's going to be a half hour before the city police shows up to stop it. Like people can seriously get injured and such. And I mean, you don't want this shit here,
Well, I actually support to some degree. I wouldn't mind getting rid of city police and just bolstering your county sheriffs, because at least your county sheriff is elected. The problem I have with city police is, for the most part, they're just hired by the mayor, the police chief, right? The mayor just appoints basically whoever the police chief is most of the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like having a police force that's elected. Honestly, I like the idea of electing like your sheriff and even your police chief, but like that's all subjective, I guess. Like yeah. I don't know if you're going to get any better results. Is basically what I'm saying. Like, but I like the idea of having the right to vote them in or not.
I just think the problem with the cops, the way I see it, is that there's a lot of kids, at a young age, that in reality should be joining the military, not the police force, because they think they're going to be cops to see action. And what does that action mean? It means action against your own people. It's the wrong attitude to become a cop. When you see like the veteran cops, like the ex-Marines, whatever, soldiers, Navy guys, whatever, ex-military cops, they tend to be much more cooler. They tend to be much more understanding, because they've seen half the world. They traveled. They grew up a little bit before it became cops and got a piece of action or got a piece of like hardcore training that allows you to call yourself a badass. Whereas, bro, like the police academy is a fucking joke, dude. You know what I mean? Like, if you're an athlete, it's a joke. It's a joke. It's like,
let's be honest. If you're joining the military or the police to see action, you're a special breed to begin with. Like there's not too many people. You're a 1%er. That's for sure. But most people don't really want to see action. But definitely, if you want to see action, I would say, yeah, I agree with you that the best route to go would be to the military. That would be my opinion. I'm about to play this video. See, this is the type of stuff right here that gives people a bad taste about the police. And like, I'm not even going to rip on BLM. Like, I'm for like some police reform. I'm for ending the drug war. I think if we end the drug,
senseless, dude. I've been an advocate of legalizing drugs and then just stop wasting money on the drug war, dude, for a very long time. It's somebody chooses to freaking be a junkie in their own home, who cares? Not my problem.
Right. You're familiar with the Breonna Taylor incident?
Yes, I've been hearing about that, and it's like, there's two sides to it. I mean, obviously it had nothing to do with black and white and stuff, but I do think that the cops should have fucking done a better investigation, not over suspicion. They found nothing. They found nothing in that house. And they raided a house because somebody was walking out with a package, which common sense tells me, yeah, it may have been a trap house. But it's like, if you're going to do such a thing, at least find something. You freaking, you're knocking indoors on suspicion. Suspicion is not enough.
Well, and also what I found very interesting too is like they did the raid at like 12:30 in the morning. Like, I think that's sort of a Usually, I always thought they did most raids at like crack of dawn or dusk. Is what I had. But to come in someone's house while they're sleeping, you're just adding a another, of course they're going to think it's a burglar, know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if somebody's got a gun and all of a sudden your door goes flying and all you hear, you're upstairs, and all you hear is your front door freaking being kicked in, like with everything going on. I mean, first thing you're going to do is reach for a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, when they ended up firing the first shot, that actually hit a police officer.
Right.
And at that point, though, I knew the police weren't going to get charged. I just knew it. Like, once they fired that shot, what can you do? They have a right to return fire.
Yeah.
Right? They had a warrant to go in the house. Now I'm against the drug war, so I don't think they should have been there to begin with, period, is my opinion. But
yeah, there's two sides to that. It's just the thing that pisses me off is that whole like black and white narrative, man. It's like they didn't. Oh yeah, they went there just because you were black. No, they didn't. They they would have done that to anybody.
Well, it's more like the news reported on it because she was black. That would be more accurate,
Right. I'm just sick of that narrative, man. As of like the actual situation, I'm like, I get it. Like they got shot at, they had every right to shoot back. But I just think the whole thing with like the package and the suspicion of, it was stupid. It's like if you're gonna do a raid, make sure you at least do a proper investigation so that you don't look like fucking fools after you're done doing a raid when you find nothing. You know what I mean? You suspected a box. Ooh, big deal. Somebody walked out of the house with a package. Boo.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm so radical. I'm against the drug war completely. So it's irrelevant to me that I don't care, man. I think you legalize it or decriminalize it, you put all these drug dealers out of business anyway. That's my opinion.
Well, yeah, for sure. I would rather go with full legalization rather than decriminalizing stuff because it has not, like, I went to Czech Republic, I went to Prague, and the whole thing of decriminalizing drugs is not working as well because all of a sudden it's like socially acceptable. So for instance, when you're walking around Prague now, you have a bunch of fucking heroin junkies begging you for change, or like people laying on the ground and stuff because it's decriminalized, so you can't really get in trouble for it. But yet it's not. It's kind of like that gray area between the laws. So I think if you're going to do it, you need to fully legalize it. That way people that need treatments for certain addictions and such can also get them, decriminalizing, I don't think works very good because it pollutes the streets, man. From my opinion,
And then it's completely unregulated, and see my stance on that is basically because if you legalize it fully, then I mean, are you going to allow like people to start up, selling, narcotics, like, are they going to be legally able to sell narcotics, heroin, and crack like it is, cigarettes? I don't want to go that far,
Right. Right. But a person that, for instance, is jonesing out and is about to rob a store or something, or rob some old lady because they need, like George Floyd did, a pregnant lady, and kicked her because he needed money for another hit of crack. But now if you have clinics where you can actually go and be like, yo, I'm jonesing out and I need this shit, or I'm going to go kill somebody, and they give you the treatment, whatever, they give you a dose of whatever you need, and then you relax. It does prevent crime,
Yeah, man. I'm going to play this video of the woman at the football game. I pulled it up. You just tell me what your opinion after.
It's loading.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I am.
You see the one guy grabbing his kid.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the kid almost got hit.
I'm not friendly doing nothing wrong. Get off of me! What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God! Get off of me! You're not arresting me for nothing. I am doing nothing wrong. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
This is over a mask.
Oh my God, baby, you're not arresting me for not doing nothing wrong.
It's not.
I am leaving. You're not arresting me for not doing nothing wrong. Stop it! Let's go with my wrist. Oh my God! What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my God, mother. This is bullshit. You're not arresting me.
Is he an actual police officer?
I don't know.
Somebody needs to call the police.
Okay, so you're arresting
I don't think he can arrest you for not wearing a mask.
Somebody needs to call the police.
This is not a warning. Call the cops, Raven.
Call the cops?
Yeah.
Will you talk to them?
I don't know if he's a real officer.
It says police on the side and on his back.
Doesn't mean anything. But he may be, Bridget, because there's a cop car over there. There's a cop car over there.
Do you want to call him?
Taser!
Tase somebody over a mask. Tasing this lady over not wearing a damn mask.
America 2020.
No. Somebody,
Come on, it's just a mask. And I'm gonna sue you for knocking me down.
Of course, she's trying to still not go. Look at her. Look at her. Imagine you're on the football field. That's your mom.
Arresting her for a mask, not wearing a mask. He ain't even got one on.
Hey, where's your mask?
Remember, we're stacking together now, right, guys? We've done this how many times together? How many times?
That's bullshit. Oh, here comes another
Over a mask.
random cop right there.
hello? I can't see you.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh my! Their camera stuff. I don't know. This did this earlier too, but I guess we'll keep going without the.
Yeah, let's see if it fixes itself.
So what do you think of that?
Ah, bro. My first thought in my head was like, imagine if that was a black lady and that was a white cop. Imagine everything that would go on TV. Oh my God, right? I mean, the lady may have had a point. Then again, resisting arrest like that is going to get you hurt, man. And I mean, I watched her like almost spill over those bleachers and either seriously hurt herself or somebody else nearby. I don't know, man. It's just like it's a very thin line we're stepping on, because I understand the police officer's side. He's just trying to do his job. At the same time, I understand hers too. I mean, I don't know, the taser. I mean, first of all, I've seen so many videos of tasers. Why do cops even use tasers when they don't work? I've never seen anybody drop from a taser. You know what I mean? Another thing that came to my mind, it's like you just tased that lady and it didn't even work. What's the point of it? I don't know, man. What do you think? Because it's like I'm walking a thin line. I kind of,
Like I said earlier, I think if that's me, I just put on a mask. What I'll do, I guess I'm a cuck. I don't know. Like I would rather just put on a mask or I would leave than. I'm just one of these guys that, I don't, or take, if I was to be arrested, I would not resist at the very.
No, that just makes your shit worse in court. And it's harder to fight it. I mean, one thing that I've learned in the military is to have, respect for authority. There's a reason why, that they have a gun and a badge. So, I would have been more on the level of like, yes, officer, okay, I'm sorry, or hey, I'm gonna leave. This is bullshit. But I would not attack the cop and call them names and try to fight with them. That would just get me fucked up. I don't know, man. It's like I feel the cops are just trying to enforce what they're being told to enforce, but I don't know. Oh, I see I'm solo right now, so I don't know. What do you guys think about the videos? The audience there. We lost Bebo. I'm sure he'll be back on here shortly. Other than that, I got this new supply of CoQ10, and I gotta tell you, man, that's like holy shit. I got the 200 milligram CoQ10s. Man, they work. Oh man, it's awesome. Like PQQ CoQ10 has become like my daily part of my daily vitamin stack. And of course, red borscht. I figured it out, people. The reason why I'm so good looking, young looking, strong, in shape is because I've been drinking red borscht since I was a kid in Poland. Red borscht is a beet soup. It's made out of beets, one of the most potent antioxidants in the world. Yeah. Oh, there you are. There. I'm trying to hold it down for you.
That's how it is, man.
I don't know, man. It's like I understand both sides. I mean, me personally, like I just told the audience, I would have been like, okay, officer, I'm sorry. I'll put my mask on, or what, fuck this, I'll leave. But nothing against you, officer. I know you're doing your job. I mean, initially, when cops approach you and you just show them respect, 9 out of 10 times they're not really gonna fuck with you. At the same time, bro, I've been in situations where it's like I'm not doing anything wrong and they're trying to antagonize me. So it goes both ways. And it's like they're looking for me to say something back to them. And I can understand how certain people lose it, because certain people that have not been in the military, they're not used to being talked shit to or being antagonized. And all of a sudden they start talking back to the cops. And that's exactly what the cops want. So I think that the cops should work more for the people, not against the people. They need to fucking realize that, they really do. And I think they are a little bit, because of all this whole mess and the riots and such. I think they're put in check a little bit. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It just varies on the cop, I guess. It's a very, very hard topic, man, because it's like
Well, my position isn't even like
it's just very hard to talk about.
It's not even about like respecting the cops. My position is just more like, in my opinion, like she put everyone in danger around her. Like God forbid if he would have pulled out his gun and accidentally shot someone else.
Yeah.
That's just why I do it. And at least that one gentleman, I don't know if that was her husband or whatever, he had enough sense to grab the kid.
And I saw that the kid almost got backhanded. If you watch the video, I saw that with the when the cop was trying to pull her, the kid almost got whacked with like an elbow. I mean, that's a little kid that could have, that kid fell down the bleachers, hit his head, man.
Yeah. Basically, my opinion is that's an example of when two dumb people meet right there. Yeah.
And at the same time, why the fuck was that cop like 300 pounds? He should be in shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cops need to be more like I'm not for I'm for more funding towards the cops so that they can get the proper training, so that they can get more numbers, so that actually they can like wake up in the morning and do a 2-mile run in a group, kind of like the military does. Take some hand-to-hand combat classes, take some more shooting classes, you know what I mean? I'm for more funding towards the cops to get them better training that they need, because I mean, you so often see like these out of shape cops, and it's like, what, dude? What are no wonder you're shooting at me, because you can't fucking chase me down.
I agree. You should be in decent shape. Every department should have some type of requirements, in construction. There is sometimes like a lot of times construction or like the utility companies will require you to be, you got to be under a certain weight limit to be going in the air and stuff like that, So, the cops should have the same, more stringent standards.
For sure, man. For sure. At the same time, I'm not a cop hater. I don't want the audience to get the wrong idea. I'm just trying to, look at it with reason, because there's good and bad on on every side and everything. Overall, I don't hate the cops, but I do see where they could improve a lot. And I really don't like the whole antagonizing stuff. There's no reason why, if I'm getting pulled over for speeding or something, some young punk is trying to get me to say something stupid to him so that he can, be a tough guy and arrest me or talk shit to me or whatever. I don't like that, man. I understand, like, in my neighborhood, where I live, if I'm walking, like, especially in the wintertime when it gets cold out, because I live in the mountains. I don't live in the city. Fuck the city. So if I'm coming back from the bar at like 3 a.m. and I got my hoodie on because it's freezing cold, the cops regularly will pull me over, will pull up to me and be like, hey, where are you going? And hey, I'm local, how are you? Oh, okay. But there's been a couple times where it's like I'm being, I'm just fucking walking home from the bar so I don't have to drive. And I appreciate you. I do appreciate you pulling me over or stopping me for the fact that I have a hoodie and I'm working in a nice neighborhood. I could be some crackhead, whatever. So I do appreciate that aspect of it. But then sometimes it goes too far. You don't have to bust my balls. You know what I mean? First of all, I'm a veteran, man. Fuck off. You should be thanking me for my service, asshole. And I also pay your salary. There's no reason why you should try to, just try to get me to say something stupid to you so you have a case. I don't like that. I don't like that antagonizing mentality of a lot of cops. Other than that, I think they're very much needed, and I'm not a cop hater, if that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna get off the police a little bit. So you're aware of RBG passing away, right?
Yeah. I've seen a lot of ruthless comments, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's part of the world nowadays. That's just how it is, man.
Her last dying witch that only one person heard. Her last
witch is dead.
Yeah. Only one person heard. Yeah, come on.
No, I got that drastic.
You got that stupid hooker skank in New York City and shit, like getting people, oh, now it's time to be radical. Dude.
So my question now is, do you think that they will fill the seat before the election?
I hope so. Yeah, I think, right. Don't they have that one lady, the one lady that's the runner-up for that position?
Well, no, Trump is going to announce his nominee Saturday. They got to get confirmed by the Senate. And then once the Senate confirms, then the president can appoint. But you need confirmation from the Senate. And, a lot of, like, Susan Collins came out. She's a Republican. And she said she thinks that the winner on November 3rd, and she's a Republican, she said the winner on November 3rd should have the right to appoint the next judge rather than Trump. Well, assuming Trump wins,
Yeah.
And then let's say he doesn't win. Is it more important? Because you got to realize that a Supreme Court justice is appointed for life.
Right. Unless they get impeached or something, right? Am I correct?
Well, yeah, impeached or die. Yeah, that's it. Or they resign on their own. So we're literally looking at possibly having the court lean Republican or right for the next 20, 30 years. With this appointment. So let's say even the country starts going more left, and Texas is starting to turn purple. Yeah.
Well, everybody's leaving California, bro. And today they want to outlaw. They want to outlaw gas engines, bro, by 2035, which lets me know that our gas prices are going to be skyrocketing. I'm literally like maybe a year or two from moving out of here, like moving to Montana or moving to South Dakota, like for reals, man, because it's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, I honestly think it's going to be the opposite, though. I think gas prices will end up plummeting as we have more electric cars, because no one's going to be using it. And then down the road, I think you'll see prices go up. I think you'll see it drop for a while, and then I mean, we're inevitably going to electrical cars anyway, whether we like it or not. You know,
Listen, I don't think electric cars are bad. My problem with electric cars right now, it's like you can only go so far on a single charge. And like when you drive like me, dude, I can drive 16 hours straight, man. I just covered 4,000 miles in 10 days. And I mean, like stopping and partying and, you know what I mean? Like, so for me, some Tesla that only goes 250 miles on a single charge, and then I have to stop for an hour to charge it is a waste. I would not mind having an electric car, to be honest with you. But when the technology gets up to par where you can actually go, you know, 10 hours straight on a single charge, you know?
Right. See, I actually own an electric. I own a Volt.
Really?
But the Volt, you can run on gas or
yes. Wait, so tell me if I'm wrong. So when you switch your car, when you're running on electric, right, and then you switch on gas, when you start going on gas, does that power your electric stuff back up, or do you have
slightly, very little? But the problem with the Volt was you only got about 50 miles on a charge.
Yeah.
Right. So once you go over the 50 miles, then it switches to gas. But you know, it's basically designed for someone that don't travel far, you know, right? You know, yeah, but at least you still have the option, you know, a full tank of gas, you know, it makes a difference. You know? At least I don't have to be out in the middle of nowhere without a charge, you know?
Right.
Now, if they could they did discontinued the Volt. Now Chevy went to a Bolt, which is just completely electric now. They don't even make the Volt no more. So, but I like it. I love it. It's a great car, you know. Lacks power, you know. It definitely lacks power, you know. And it's sort of bad because it's a 4-seater because you got this big, huge battery going right through the middle, you know. So, but you know, it's a decent car. I like it, you know. But you know, I still think that's the way we're headed. You know, is electric cars, and there's nothing, you know, how quick we get there is debatable, right?
Well, we're definitely, you know, switching to electricity and eliminating a lot of oil is also going to stop a lot of unnecessary conflict and war in the Middle East. You know what I mean? Because in all reality, we're there because of oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt about it.
And Israel, of course, Israel. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but mostly it was oil. I mean. The only time, you know, let's be honest, Israel could whoop most of them Middle Eastern countries by themselves.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Plus, they're allied with the Saudis. You know, what I mean, because I don't know if you know this, but the Saudi family, they're actually Jews that converted to Islam. So they come from the same families as the rulers of Israel. That's why, even though they have two conflicting religions, that's why they get along very well, because they came out of the same tribe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you go back far enough, we all came out of the same tribe eventually.
Right. Missing link, man. You know? And now with the discovery of the Denisovans, right? It completely blows Darwinism out of fucking water, and it's also starting to change the whole out of Africa theory, which, you know, nobody wants to talk about because it's racist, even though, you know, these are actual factual findings, you know, of the Denisovans. So now
you know what I love with people in the science stuff? You know, I'm like, you know, prove this to me. And then they'll always refer you to some like article, right? And I'm like, that don't prove nothing. You're getting that information from someone else, right? You know, and you know what's great with the scientists too. You know, even they're you know, they'll be like, humanity started between 200,000 years ago and 400,000 years ago.
Right.
Like, wow, you're only leaving a gap of 200,000 years there. You know?
How can you do? I mean,
point it.
And you got Darwin. You got a guy, right? For 100, when did Darwin? It was 150 years ago, something like that, right? That he was alive. So you got a guy talking about DNA without even knowing what DNA was. You got to, I mean, all his theories are based on nothing. They didn't even have the technology to determine like a person's DNA, or they didn't have the discoveries that they have now. So it's a theory that somewhat made sense. Okay, great, but it's outdated, and they simply don't want to move to the next theory or factual evidence, because the Smithsonian and it's all about money, bro. They literally keep knowledge away from you because they own the knowledge right now. They have shit copyrighted. If like Darwinism got blown out of water, they would have to change all your textbooks, the school books, college material, and the people that hold that power right now would not be in power. The Smithsonian, I mean, the Smithsonian is responsible for covering so many findings, bro, both archaeological and anthropological, like when they found the skeletons of the giants in Utah and Arizona in the 1920s, front page of the New York Times, Smithsonian, shows up, takes it away. Oh, it never happened. I mean, these people are, dude, they're all interconnected, bro. Like these, just a few people in power that are interconnected, and they run the world with misinformation and literally keeping truth away from people,
Yeah. Well, ultimately, when you think about it, like, people sit here and they think like politicians run the world. Like the politicians really don't run anything, man. It's right. The scientists. It's all the people behind the scenes. You have to have the technology available to you to run stuff, right?
Right.
So now, what makes the scientist weak is that they tend to be spineless people. Where a politician or a mobster can come up to them and be like, "Hey, you're gonna give me this." You know what I'm saying? And scientists tend to be betas, right? And they're not gonna stand up for their principles and morals, right? Like a lot of weapons were actually researched. I think it's like mustard gas or something. They were trying to find something for like treating lice or something, and they end up developing mustard gas. You get what I'm saying? On accident, and you think that scientist, once he finds that or he develops that, right, he's going to be like, "Oh, I'm just going to put this back in the bottle and act like it didn't exist." You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that's when someone comes in from the military and they're like, "Hey, we heard you invented something that we might be interested in."
All right. Did you hear about Dr. Reif in the 1920s?
No.
So Dr. Reif came up with a cancer treatment. It was based on like different radio waves and such. He took 2 of his patients are still alive. He took 18 stage 4 terminally ill cancer patients and fucking cured every single one of them. 2 of them are still alive to tell the tale. All 18 of them within days. The fucking FDA raided his lab, took all his shit, completely discredited him, ruined his life, ruined his career, kind of like what they did to Tesla, So you got to really ask yourself who runs the shit and why certain things happen. I mean, the whole FDA is a fucking joke, bro. They should be making cures, not pills,
Yeah. Well, and then think about it too, like Procter and Gamble, right? The people that make shampoo, soap, and all that, they also develop medicine and stuff like that. Who knows what they're putting in your shampoo to, anything you're having contact with every day, right? Every single day, they have a power, right? Who knows? Like I've read this one study, like that skin cancer rates didn't start going through the roof until they started making sunscreen.
Yeah.
Like, does it even really make any sense? What sunscreen is basically like petroleum, right? Most of it. Mm-hmm. You're literally oiling up with oil to go out in the sun.
Yeah, which is worse, right?
You get what I'm saying?
Totally. But speaking of, you mentioned gambling. Do you know who Poker Alice was?
No.
Poker Alice was she was a madam. She used to have a whorehouse and stuff. See, I learned that in Brentwood. Used to have a whorehouse, and she shot a federal soldier for mistreating one of her hookers and got away with it. Shot him in the back of the head. Poker Alice in Brentwood, where Wild Bill Hickok is from. he also got shot because he got shot by a hater. He won a poker game, and the guy was so embarrassed that he lost that he walked into Wild Bill Hickok's casino and shot him in the back of the head. Pretty cool stories in South Dakota. I really actually enjoyed it. But Poker Alice, hey, right on.
Yeah. All right, I don't got much else. So I don't know how long you want to go for, but
we got 55 minutes. I want to make some more borscht downstairs. You know, I'm probably gonna eat, and let's just end with gosh, what was I gonna talk about? Oh yeah, just want to bring that up to a lot of American patriots. You know, because a lot of them sympathize the political party Confederation in Poland, and I don't know if you saw what happened during the last election. Half of that party voted for the left just to get some more Senate seats. So my feeling, you know, as usual, was right from the beginning, where I was like warning a lot of people, like, hey, don't get fooled, you know. So, yep.
All right. Well, we'll end it right there, and thank you for joining us, and appreciate having you stay on. We'll talk a little off this camera.
Yeah, and we'll do another one in a few weeks
for sure.
We had a news conference, and they asked me the exact same question. I said, I disavow. Now, right after the program that we're talking about, and I thought it was clear, but you know, we're talking about